Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And in today's story, I want to talk about how John D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie created the business of Western medicine that we utilize today. How did we get to the place in our healthcare system today where treating the symptoms and diseases with big pharmaceutical drugs is the primary way for treatment? And no prevention modalities. A pill a day will keep the doctor away. Wrong. So let's get into this story. This story is a brief historical look at the business of Western medicine that we see today. This story will not directly address aspects of patient care. Instead, it will focus on the origins of our current medical business model today. So let's do a deep dive. In order to understand our current medical system, it is helpful to take a look back at the history of medicine in the America. The business story of Western medicine in the modern sense starts with John D. Rockefeller, who was born in 1839 and died in 1937. Rockefeller is widely considered the wealthiest American of all time and the richest person in modern history. Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller, is probably most famous for securing a monopoly in America's oil market, but many people haven't heard of the rest of the story. By the turn of the 20th century, John D. Rockefeller controlled 90% of all petroleum refineries in America through ownership of the Standard Oil Corporation. Later, and you should know Standard Oil, later Standard Oil split into becoming Mobil Oil, Chevron, and Exxon Oil, etc. Mobil, Chevron, and Exxon. Concurrently, around 1900, the science world was getting excited about new petrochemicals and the ability to create a variety of new compounds from oil. Some of the first products derived from petrochemicals were plastics, but organic chemists knew that oil had the potential to create far more than plastic toys. So during this same era, in the early 1900s, scientists were doing groundbreaking work to understand the basic mechanics of life and human health. It was during this time that most of the essential vitamins were discovered, including vitamin B1, B2, biotin, vitamin C, vitamin A, and vitamin D, etc. By identifying these vitamins, science took a huge step forward and enabled simple vitamin remedies to cure conditions that were caused by vitamin deficiencies, such as scurvy and rickets. And of course, scientists were also involved in research to recreate synthetic versions of these vitamins in a laboratory. So this is where we're going to get to the whole accumulation and acculation of pill making. So in 1935, vitamin C became the first vitamin to be artificially synthesized in Switzerland. Rockefeller was smart enough to see this as a big opportunity with the possibility that vitamins and medications could be developed from petroleum. He saw the chance to control and monopolize multiple industries at once. So that would be the petroleum industry, the chemical industry, and the medical industry. See how these, all three of these businesses, you would have never thought oil would be associated with the medical and the pharmaceutical industry. And of course, petrochemicals were ideal for a business perspective. They could be patented, owned, and sold for high profits. But there was a big problem with Rockefeller's plan. Natural and herbal medicines were very popular in America in the early 1900s. Almost half of the medical colleges and doctors in America were practicing holistic medicine, not allopathic, holistic naturopathic medicine, using extensive knowledge from Europe, Africa, China, India, and Native American traditions. Rockefeller knew that to get control of the medical industry, he would have to expunge the competition. Rockefeller's first move was to use his vast wealth from oil to purchase part of the German pharmaceutical company IG Farben, F-A-R-B-E-N. And you need to look up how Farben's involvement in World War II. Now that he controlled a drug manufacturing company, remember this is a German pharmaceutical company called IG Farben, he could move forward with his plan to eliminate the competition. So in the early 1900s, there were a variety of doctors and healing modalities in America. Some of the medical specialties included chiropractic, naturopathy, homeopathy, holistic medicine, and herbal medicine. To eliminate the competition, John D. Rockefeller hired a contractor named Abraham Flexner, F-L-E-X-N-E-R, Flexner, to submit a report to Congress in 1910. So there was lobbying going on during the early 1900s with John D. Rockefeller. So when we complain about Big Pharma, the insurance business, they have some of the heaviest lobbyists up in Washington, D.C., padding the pockets of our politicians. And this was even happening in 1910. So the report concluded that there were too many doctors in medical schools in America, and that all of the natural healing modalities which had existed for hundreds of years were unscientific quackery. This is what John D. Rockefeller is saying. The report called for the standardization of medical education, whereby only the AMA, which is another monopoly, the American Medical Association, AMA, would be allowed to grant medical school licensure in the United States. Certainly, Flexner's report did have some valid points, but unfortunately, the motives for the report were entirely driven by Rockefeller's desire for complete control of the medical system. So, based on the report, Congress acted upon Flexner's recommendations and changed laws related to medical practice, including allopathic medicine became the standard modality. Big Pharma, pharmaceutical drugs. Even though at the time its main treatment methods were bloodletting, which was a surgery quite barbaric at the time, and the injection of toxic heavy metals, lead and mercury in particular, to supposedly displace disease. With new laws in place, John D. Rockefeller teamed up with Andrew Carnegie. If you've heard of Carnegie Mellon University, one of the finest institutions, STEM institutions in our country today. The Carnegie family is a huge family too. So Rockefeller and Carnegie teamed up and started funding medical schools all over America on the strict condition that they only taught allopathic medicine. Through the power of their huge grants, this powerful team systematically dismantled the previous curricula of these medical schools, removing any mention of the healing power of herbs or natural treatments. Teachings on diet and other natural non-drug treatments were also completely removed from medical programs. After removing traditional medicine from medical schools, Rockefeller made sure to secure his monopoly by launching a targeted smear against his competitions or his competitors. Homeopathic and natural medicines were discredited and demonized through the newspapers and other media outlets of the time. Some doctors were even jailed for using natural medicine treatments, including treatments that had been used safely and effectively for decades before. In a very short time, medical colleges were all homogenized. All the students were taught the same allopathic system, and medicine was now defined as a process of prescribing patented drugs. The term "a pill for an ill" became the mindset of American medicine. I'm going to say it again. A pill for an ill became the mindset of American medicine. One shocking fact, now you got to listen to this. One shocking fact that I found while researching this post was that Rockefeller didn't stop at the U.S. borders. He actually went into China to spread Western medicine. Upon hearing this, I actually got chills down my spine. Rockefeller wasn't content with just wiping out traditional medicine in America. He saw a bigger market on the other side of the world and wanted to remove traditional Chinese medicine from China. Luckily, his venture in China mostly failed, and the practice of traditional Chinese medicine was preserved for centuries to come. So, to quickly summarize what happened in China, the China Medical Board, the CMB, was created in 1914 by the Rockefeller Foundation and provided it with at least $12 million of grant money. So Rockefeller is helped with this Chinese Medical Board in China through his Rockefeller Foundation. Look how far his powerful tentacles go. The RF's goal was to modernize medical education and to improve the practice of medicine in China. They started by building a hospital in Beijing, which was Peking Union Medical College, opened in 1919, but they were unable to expand to other locations as planned due to mounting expenses. In short, the diligent work of Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie was a smashing success. They crushed the underfunded grassroots competition and created their own or our own current medical system. This system continues today, wherein Big Pharma makes large donations to medical schools in exchange for teaching the medical students to use their patented drugs. Pay for play, this homogenized pay for play. As part of this system, many alternative treatments are criminalized. I did not know this, but listen to this very careful. For example, by law, it is illegal to treat cancer with any modality except chemotherapy, surgery, or radiation. It is illegal by law to treat cancer with anything else but except chemotherapy, surgery, or radiation. It is actually a criminal felony for a medical practitioner to treat cancer with anything but these three modalities, which is chemotherapy, surgery, and radiation. Why is this the case? Follow the money. The average cost of cancer treatment is $150,000. So clearly, Rockefeller and his precedents were keen to keep the monopoly on this one. And of course, the American Cancer Society was founded by no other. The American Cancer Society was founded by no other than John D. Rockefeller in 1913. So in conclusion, hopefully this post will shed a bit of a light on the history of our current medical system. At the very least, we can be less surprised when patients are treated like customers and when medications cost thousands of dollars per month. We should also not be surprised when we are faced with the fact that the cost of medical care in America is rated number one. The cost of medical care, yet the quality of our medicine care is rated 37th in the world, just below Costa Rica. Unfortunately, these are the natural effects that occur when our medical system is run like a mega corporation instead of the service to the people.